Welcome to the office hour of the Wiki Missing Sources project. I would like to remind us of the friendly policy that we usually uphold in the Wikimedia ecosystem. So it's a digital space, and I respect that we are all diverse and we have various diverse backgrounds. So I'll urge us all to respect one another as we coexist in this space. So that being said, kindly introduce yourself in the chat and tell us where you're joining us from. As for me, I'm reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Hayrat Abdurrahman. So while we welcome more members, I'll just continue why we are here. We are here for the Wiki Missing Sources campaign. And so let me just move ahead. Sorry. Okay, so as I said earlier, we are the Africa Wiki Women, and the Africa Wiki Women is an initiative that sprung out of the global Wikimedia movement. We're making knowledge accessible and verifiable for everyone. So the Africa Wiki Women strives to address this gap on the Wikipedia and beyond, fostering their growth within the community. And the initiative aims to foreground the voices and narratives of African women, enriching Wikipedia's content and ensuring fair representation. You can actually read more and have access to more of our reports and training resources on our meta page. So these are the co-founders of the Africa Wiki Women. We have a co-founder from Nigeria. Her name is Bukola James. We have from Tanzania, Peggy, we call her Peggy. Her full name is Pelagia Njau. And then we have Ruby Ruby D. Brown from Ghana. And these are the co-founders of Africa Wiki Women. They're the champions behind, the brains behind what we do in the Africa Wiki Women ecosystem, community rather. So moving on, I wouldn't say I birthed it. It's a teamwork, but the Wiki Missing Sources project was born out of a struggle to, cite references for articles on Wikipedia, especially about women. Am I still audible? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So this is a brief introduction of myself. I'm Hayrat Abdurrahman. I'm a broadcast journalist from Voice of Nigeria, and I'm a member of Africa Wiki Women, and I'm the coordinator for the Wiki Missing Sources campaign. So this project was born out of the struggle to cite references for articles on Wikipedia, especially about women, because there was a time I was engaged in one of our editing projects. It's an editathon during the Accelerating Action for Gender Equality project, organized by the Africa Wiki Women earlier this year. We were to highlight the contributions of African women in journalism and politics to promote gender equity, on Wikipedia. And then to my surprise, I personally had challenges with citing credible media mentions showcasing the achievements of so many names on the topic list. I searched and realized that what I found were either not wiki-worthy contents or they were not exclusively discussing the figures or the topics I was going to write about. Only a few did, and I used them, but it only made the articles to remain a stub articles. Sub articles are articles that are very short and have limited references on Wikipedia. So it either made them stub articles or we didn't write about them at all. So they still remain on the red list. Yeah, so this was even worse with African countries that are developing in Africa. So that's why I thought we should, collaborate with journalists, writers, the media professionals, and all of that. And, the people who can help to give more voices, references, sources to these women, African women. So that's why the Wiki Missing Sources became a project that we're running right now. Sorry. Okay, I just spoke about this. Mm. Okay, so we're collaborating with the media, journalists in Africa to increase media coverage and representation of notable African women for Wikipedia. Once we are able to create uh, these sources, we'll be able to write and create articles about these people, African women generally. So the goals here is to sensitize the media, the decision makers about the long-term value of covering notable but underreported subjects. So as I said earlier, we have African women who are making efforts, who are achieving things, who are um, breaking barriers and, going for whatever they're going for, they're winning awards and all of that. But we have limited media mentions of them. We need to change that by sensitizing the media to beam their spotlight more on these people, and then write about them in a wiki-friendly way, which we are going to be talking about shortly. After some minutes, I'll introduce a trainer who would give us a short training on the content policies. So we're advocating for the creation of dedicated editorial beats focused on documentation and profiling of African women. And this is the starting point. Once we have gotten the media partners to, be on board, and then we're on the same page, we can move on to the next phase of the project, which is to train these people as well to be able to create articles on Wikipedia, and then we can have more references for the people we're trying to do it for. So how we'll be working together. We provide the training, of course, we'll be training participants, and you publish and project African women. We have a list of a list of names. You can come with, you can also add yours. You can identify women that are making strides and then writing about them. As long as they're African women and they're making significant achievements, they're welcome on board. So we're starting from there. Then in the long run, we hope to turn the red links into blue links, full articles, and lift them off from the red list. So at this juncture, what we need to know about how to get involved, how to get engaged, we should be learning the policies, the Wikipedia policies, how the content should be like, what the guidelines are, the notability and everything. So to give us an in-depth explanation about this, we're going to be inviting our trainer. But before then, can we just spare like 5 minutes to uh, showcase our media partners? I don't know if they're here already. Uh, Kindly signify if you're here. If you're here, kindly signify. If not, we can just move to the next phase and then we'll come to that part later on. You, Mr. Muib Shafiu, by username, he is IBJaja055. He's the founder, Wiki Academics Project, community coordinator for Open Knowledge Development Initiative, OKDI, and they're, making strides. Is also the English Wikipedia new page reviewer and community advisor, Wikimedia Gombe Network, and board member, Open Knowledge Development Network. Please make welcome with our favorite emojis, Mr. Muib Shafiu. Welcome on board, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. So I hope all of you have been good, you have been fine. So I hope you can hear me very well now. It's not echoing and my voice is very clear, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you very much. So I know today we have Wikipedian here, we have journalists here, and also we have Wikipedia and journalists together here. People who are editors on Wikipedia, at the same time, they are journalists. So we are going to be doing something that is going to benefit both journalists and Wikipedia and someone that wanted to, as a journalist that wanted to venture into Wikipedia too, you're also welcome. So I'm going to be sharing a screen. I have some few slides to run off. So from the slides, at times, we can be moving down to the browser to showcase how it works and how you can do it. So I'm going to be sharing my screen now. Okay, thank you very much. So this is Africa Wiki Women Missing Sources campaign. And we are going to be talking about how you can write and use sources for Wikipedia, the sources that has the Wikipedia standard. We have a lot of sources, but only few about African women are credible enough to be on Wikipedia, especially on English Wikipedia. So at the end of this training, we are going to be developing good, reliable source writing skill as for people who are into journalism. You have journalists here. So a journalist, let me just give me one emoji. Let me see. You have journalists here. Okay, I can see different emojis coming up. So as a journalist, you are going to develop that skills in which you can use to write reliable sources for Wikipedia consumption. And also we are going to be having some kind of verification of sources and how you can do something that's called cross-reference sources. So now, as a journalist, this is the first step that we are going to be talking about as a journalist. So as a journalist, there are things you need to know, and there are things you need to do, and there are things that you are not supposed to do if you are writing content for Wikipedia. So you are writing content in general, but now we are focusing more on content that can be accepted as on Wikipedia. So before we go to that, so I would like to explain to us why do we focus more of our attention on good sources? Why do we focus most of our attention on reliable sources for Wikipedia? One of those things you need to know is there are a lot of policies on Wikipedia that demand reliable and verifiable sources. So that's, Wikipedia is like community-based, it's a consensus-based. It's not rule. These are a group of editors that come together and say, okay, this is how we want it to be. And those policies have been there. You and I cannot change it. So we just have to follow those principles and policies. Another thing is Wikipedia today is being consumed by millions and billions of people on the continent. And if we allow all reliable sources on Wikipedia, we are going to be feeding people with unreliable information, and which is going to undermine the credibility of Wikipedia. And that's something that we are not going to, we will not like that to happen, because once people see it on Wikipedia, they say, oh, I even saw it on Wikipedia that this is how it happened. So when people that believe in what we are doing and eventually realize that what we are feeding them is lie, so the credibility of Wikipedia is going to reduce. And also, another thing is proper sourcing ensures neutral and factual content gets into Wikipedia. At times, it's not misinformation, it's a kind of agenda pushing. When people are trying to push the agenda, push their narrative. So if you are not using proper sourcing, you are going to be assisting them to push their own agenda. And we definitely know that Wikipedia does not have any agenda. They represent what they have for the reader to decide which one to go for. So now, as a journalist, what makes your source reliable? There are 4 things in general that make your source reliable. The first thing that makes your source reliable is the authorship. The authorship, the person that writes the content, which is you. So you are also part of the criteria that people use to judge what you write. So that one cannot just like the way you cannot separate journalists from the content they write. So the reputation of the journalist or the reputation of the writer also affects the content either positively or negatively. Another thing is the affiliation. Okay, let me take it to the side. Publication. The publication house, the publishing house that you come from to also matters. It also affects, it can either make people to take your source as reliable, or it can mar your content. So it can either build your reputation in the field of journalism, or it can break your reputation. So, for instance, let me say, let's assume that we meet in a journalism conference, and you ask me, who am I writing for? And I told her, I'm writing for Nairaland. I'm a journalist on Nairaland. How will you feel? You look and say, so do they have journalists on Nairaland or something like that? Because publication house that you come from also determine if your content is going to be acceptable or not. That's the second one, right? Okay. The affiliations. A kind of affiliations between the publishing house and what they are writing for also determine if we are going to accept their publication. For instance, if I am a businessman and I am opportune to own a publishing house, and the publishing house publish content about me, definitely you should know that they will never go against my will. It's only if they want to get sacked or if they want me to just wind up the whole business for them. So definitely they cannot criticize me, and we have to be dancing to my tune. So that kind of affiliation, if it is not YouTube and you are watching Al Jazeera, just go to their comment section. By the government of Qatar. That's declaration. So they let you know that where we receive our money from, either partially or totally, is from the government of Qatar. Okay, thank you very much. So now, the last one, which is evidence. So if you are providing any claim, you have to provide evidence for it. And that your evidence, it's not going to be evidence from your media only. So you need to do a kind of cross-reference fact checking by also looking at other media houses to see what they have gotten. So these 4 things, we are going to break them down, and you are going to see how you can actually fit yourself into them. Okay? Now, when you say authorship credibility, as a journalist, your expertise matters. So people need to know your expertise. It might not be what you studied in school, or it can be what you have been writing on over the years. And the only way to see that is for people to know your portfolio, and they can see your portfolio if your news media has a byline. A byline is that tiny name of journalist or reporter that they used to put under the heading of the news to show that this news was written by this person. So by the time they click on that name, people can assess what you have been written, what you have been writing over the years. So your expertise in the subject might make your, for instance, if you have been writing on entertainment over the years, so people will tend to believe whatever you write. And if you have been writing on politics over the years, so you have built a reputation, you have built credibility in political field, and people will actually give you the respect for that. And also, your credibility when it comes to writing, how do you write? Do you write from a neutral point of view or you write from a biased point of view? By the time we take 4 or 5 of your write-ups and we discover that you are always blowing trumpet where you're not supposed to blow the trumpet, you are always trying to make a mountain out of a mole. That is, you are always trying to overemphasize what you are not supposed to emphasize. So you use a lot of adjectives just for you to push your own agenda. Then they will get to know that your authorship, your write-ups, and whatever you are writing is not credible enough to be on Wikipedia. So you have to take note of that. Another thing is, do not be an anonymous or an admin or pseudonyms, any kind of or pseudonymous author. You know, when you go to some news media, you will discover that they write a news report, and under the news report, instead of them to put the name of the person that compiled the report, they will just put admin or they will put anonymous. Those things are damaging the reputation of your content. And that is why one of the red flag on Wikipedia, when you write a content and we cannot identify the person that write the content, that's one of the red flags. So we have to reject that content. No matter how good the content is, you cannot use that content to establish notability because of the credibility of what you have written. You don't even know who writes it. It can be a sane person or an insane person, or the person that is known for misinformation over the years. So anytime you are writing, you have to ensure that your publishing house indicates your name, put your name under your write-up. Now, let us do a kind of, as you can see here, this is legit news outlet. Now, what I'm talking about, this is the byline. You see, I circled the name, Esther Odidi, right? So this is the byline. As you can see, after the title, June 12, Tinubu cancels national broadcast to address National Assembly, no democracy day parade. Now, after it, you see updated Thursday, June 12, and by who? Esther Odidi, reviewed by who? Bruce Douglas. So this is what is called byline. Now, if I want to check your credibility as a writer now, I will just click on this Esther Odidi, then I will be able to see all the things you have been writing over the years. I cannot determine, oh, is this person reliable enough to write about this subject? Do we get that? The journalist in the house, do we get that? Let me just have 1 or 2 reactions. Do we get that? Or I've been talking to myself. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're audible.
Okay, okay. So do we get that aspect of authorship? So let me just see some reactions, emojis, or you can just drop yes in the chat box if.
We have some thumbs up for you.
Oh, that's good. So because those are the things that you need to get. Okay, so let's check the following websites. So this website we were picked randomly. So we are going to check them for what we are about to just discuss now, and we are going to check the credibility of the authors, and we are also going to check the byline, and we are also going to check the neutral point of view of those content. So I'm going to be sharing another screen for you. So let me stop this one. Okay, so let's start with this one, legit.ng. Now, man blames mysterious spirits for heated clash between Very Dark Man and China Rose. Okay, so let us click on it. Okay, now, as you can see, this is the title, right? Good. By who? Muhammad Ahmed. Muhammad Ahmed Olainka. So now, if I want to check, maybe I want to use this write-up for my Wikipedia account, and I'm doubting if the person is reliable, is credible enough. We can just click on this and go and look at his credibility, his credentials, and he has published 193 articles since September. That's in less than 2 months or a month. And these are things that he has been writing on. From this, you can see that the person is writing mostly about a kind of social media, social human interest articles, and so on. As you can see, most of them are mainly about celebrities, trending news. You can see the analytic news. So as you can see it now, so you can check almost everything about the person because there is something here for you to check. So in some news media, they will just put admin here. Who's an admin? It's anonymous, or they will just put anonymous. So with that, you'll not be able to check who is the person that actually write this. So should go. Now, you see, what do you see here? Our reporter. You see? So that is why, now let's see if it is because that one is a kind of interview. Okay, let's check this one. That one is an interview of that man. Let's check this one. This is a news report now. 15-year-old Nigerian student. Okay, now you see the news report. Can you see the name here? Mutali Jibril. I don't know if this was not clickable, but you can see the name of the person here. So it's very important. This is the byline here. And so let's check Punch 2. Punch Nigeria. Tinubu approved 2-year tenure extension for Soviet governor. Okay. You see, by Stephen. Here you can click on it, and it will take you to what Stephen has been doing over the years. This is what Stephen has been doing, writing about politics in dominates free and the kind of finance minister return, NAPTIP. You can see is an expertise when it comes to politics. So that's what is called byline, and you need to also have it as a reporter. It's very important. It speaks more of your credibility and it's making reputable when it comes to Wikipedia. So now we are going to go back to the slides. So now the next one we need to also look at is the publication history. That is, who are you writing for? Because whoever you are writing for too can also make your sources reliable or unreliable. So you need to write from established outlets with a good track record. We have major news outlets. We have the upcoming ones who are also trying, and we have the one that are somehow deprecated in the sense that they only carry gossip news, and most of their news outlets are paid or sponsored posts. When you write for a media house that is known for that kind of activity, there's nothing you can do that can cleanse you from the sin of that media house. When you write for media houses like The Punch, Vanguard, Legit, Sahara Reporter, and also Voice of Nigeria, and so on. So the reputation of the newspaper will also assist your writer. When you are writing from a blog post, you are writing from like Linda KG blog, or you are writing from Bengagist.net. So you cannot use those sources, no matter how good what you have written are, no matter how intelligent, analytical they are, no matter how objective they are, the reputation of the publishing house will make your source to not be accepted on the English Wikipedia. Another thing is, if you are an upcoming media house and you want to also fit into Wikipedia, what you have to do is make sure that you have editorial standard and fact-checking processes. At least you have your media house have people that go through what the editors are doing, and they differentiate between sponsored posts, paid posts, and other normal news. And also they have the byline there. So that by the time you publish from your emerging newspaper, when they go through your newspaper, they will be able to identify this feature and say, okay, good to go. So another thing is, as a journalist, you need to avoid copy and paste from self-published user-generated websites like social media. Some journalists will just go there, copy what someone has said without even analyzing it, then make it a news news heading. For instance, someone say, "I will not drink water again," from social media, and the person just posts this and with some content, they will just carry it to and publish it on their news, like it's a news something. Even now, social media is becoming more of a place for journalists to go and see news now. Many people are following celebrities just for them to take their gossips and publish it on their news media. So all this kind of gossip publication will only damage the reputation of the outlet, will damage the reputation of the journalist. So you have to avoid copy and pasting stuff from them. If you are to publish what they have written, you need to also analyze, bring in some journalistic perspective to what they have said, and make sure that you are neutral there, so that anybody reading it will be able to attach meaning to whatever they have said. Okay? And the next one is affiliations. Just like what I said earlier on, as a media house, there are something you need to declare. And one of those things you need to declare is your funding. You need to declare where you are getting your money from. You need to declare the ownership of the media house. Who are the people that own? Who are the people that own the media house? We need to know that by the time you are writing anything about them, you need to differentiate between conflict of interest and the rest. Also, your media house need to have about pages where you need to tell the world your own records. You need to tell the world about yourself, about the media house, so that people will know and they will be able to have, okay, a kind of background knowledge of how you invent. So I think the first one and the last one are the same. So information about the funding, where you receive your money from, who are your donors, ownership of the organization, and create an about page for the organization so that people will be able to go there and see who you are. And when it comes to conflict of interest, you need to also be declaring conflict of interest anytime you have conflict of interest as a media house. So this is what will make you to be reputable on Wikipedia. Now, you are done with your process as a journalist. What are the things you need to do, and what are the things that you also need to avoid if you are writing or if you're in any media house? Do you have any question before we move to what you can do as a Wikipedian at the same time you are a journalist?
He's asking if anyone has any questions, please. Any questions before we move ahead? I hope we have learned a thing or two. Okay, please, you may proceed. Let's proceed. Maybe they are trying to type it, or maybe prepare the questions. They may have it later on.
Okay. No, as a Wikipedia and journalist, there are some policies you need to understand. And that is the reason why we have them there. One of the things you need to understand is verifiability. That is, anything you are writing on Wikipedia, people need to be able to verify it. So there's a difference between what you can verify and the truth. If you have the truth and you don't have anything that people can use to verify it, so how do we know that your truth is the truth? That is why verifiability matters. That is, you need to provide a source that other people can go and check, and so that to be able to know, okay, what is going on here. So this is not what you just know personally. I know personally, no, it's not on Wikipedia. So you need to have the verifiability means provide source for people to go and check. So as a journalist and as a Wikipedian, so if you are writing anything, you need to ensure that it's what people can verify, not only from your own news media. They can also do a kind of cross media fact checking. If you have said something, it is very rare for you to say that this thing only comes from our news media. You need to also look at other news media to see if that particular thing that you have said has been said before or has been analyzed before. So if you are writing now, you need to also know that you too need to make another step to make sure that whatever you are writing, people can go ahead and verify it elsewhere. So that is the reason why Wikipedia, we make use of your source because it's a verifiable source. You can verify it on this media. We can also go ahead to verify it elsewhere. Another thing you need to understand that when we say reliable sources, it brings a lot of things inside, just not only one thing. It's just like a conglomeration of different things. Because a reliable source on Wikipedia means that your media house need to have editorial integrity, you need to have a reputation for accuracy, and you need to have a fact-checking process. And even if you have made a mistake, you need to let the people know that this article has been updated. When you go to BBC News and they update any of their news, before you start reading, you see the date that it was written and the date that it was updated. And then it was updated on, you get it now. Not that you just go there, you're removing something, you're putting it back, and you don't even let the people know that I've removed this, I've put this one back. So when you do that, it's just as if you are trying to hide. So reliable source ensures that the information used on Wikipedia is not only verifiable, but it's also neutral, and at the same time, they are credible. So when you have reliable sources, then you'll be able to use them, and you know that what you have used is good enough to back up any of your claims. Now, if you are finding it very difficult to understand reliable sources, I brought out some of the things that can assist you to understand reliable sources and the features that you can see. One of those features is reliable sources need to be published by reputable organizations. Here now, we aren't talking about only this media, we are also talking about different sources like journals, we are talking about books, we are talking about a lot of things that you can use to verify. That's why I call it organizations. Now, the first feature is that particular organization must be known for professional standards in journalism or in academic publishing. That is, people should know them as for who they are. They should know them for what they have been doing over the years. Even when they goof, they will let people know that they have goofed and they have updated. You get it now. So that's one of the features of reputable organizations, which is one of the features of reliable sources. Now, reputable organizations also involve mainstream media outlets. Like when you look at a country, you know there are some publishing houses that you know that every day they publish news, and these news are being reviewed by the radio. These news are being reviewed by televisions. These news are being read by people, and people believe in them. So we call them mainstream media outlets. So there are also research institutions that when they carry out research, people tend to believe what they have carried out, like the United Nations Organization, like the UNDP, like the IMO, and so on, like the World Bank. So when they carry out, they are not publishing names, but they will go for a very deep research, and they will come up with what they have gotten from that research. So they are also reliable sources when it comes to data. So, and also publishing houses, book publishing houses, that they will not publish books that are not reputable. So they will not, because you have your money, you want to publish garbage, and they won't do that. Over the years, we have publishing houses like the Cambridge, and Cambridge publishing houses. In Nigeria, you have a lot of publishing houses attached to schools, individuals, private, that are reputable. And I also know that we have a lot of that in other African countries. So reliable sources too, this one too is also one of the features of reliable sources. Another thing that we need to know, understand is when publishers make a mistake and they admit their mistake and they correct the mistake, it's also one of the features of reliable, reputable organizations. If they are not reputable, what they will just do is go there, correct the mistake, and they will not even issue any apology. So now, if you have seen the first one, and you're coming up to see the second one, you'll be surprised as if it seems what I saw earlier on was not what I've seen. You start doubting yourself. But if you have publishers like that, it's also one of the features of reliable sources. So the second feature of reliable sources is the journalists themselves. The person in charge of writing the story, is she or he an expert in that particular field? And what she has written or what he has written, does it pass through the editorial oversight? Do they check it? Or she's the one that will just go there, publish whatever he or she wants? No, so there should be a kind of proofreading. There should be a kind of person that she is going to revert to before she publishes the news. So this is the second feature of reliable sources. So when you break it down, you begin to see that articles written by professionals tend to be more reliable than articles written by anonymous people or a self-published author. So the third one is that you need to also understand if the organization, if they have a fact-checked committee that go through whatever claims they are making. So before any news is being published, there should be some people that will go through it and review the accuracy of it. So, and just like what I said earlier on, if anything want to change, they need to let people know that this thing is being changed. And also, changing does not mean that every day they will have to be changing in a particular article. You see, editing an article for like 15 times, it doesn't make sense. What it shows is lack of what will I say it? Professionalism. Because before you publish, you should have checked and rechecked. It should have passed through wherever it should pass through. So after publication, even if you are going to see any error, it should be minimal. But know that there's a kind of 15 updates on a particular article. That means they did not even cross-check what they have done before they publish it. And at the same time, you see some people, after they have published the article, and the article has just like 1 or 2 or 3, 4, 5 months, they will just delete the article again. Now, as a Wikipedian, if you are looking for that source, you begin to wonder, you have seen this thing before, where is it that will delete it? So you have to avoid news media like that. And also, if you are working in those news media, you need to also let them know that whatever they publish should remain on the internet for people to be able to go back to it. And now, as a Wikipedian and a journalist, you need to also understand you need to also understand unreliable sources. That is, what are the things that people see? And they will say, oh, these are typical unreliable sources. It is a red flag, and we cannot use them. Now, if your media house lack editorial oversight or fact-checking, people can reject it abruptly as, oh, this one, they do not have any editorial oversight. Nobody is checking what they have done. So with that, you cannot accept that. When your content is being published without being reviewed by an expert, or maybe on your platform, anyone can post any information and nobody will verify it before publication. Just like a loose group on social media. When you're operating a loose group or a WhatsApp loose group, in which anybody can publish anything, the only thing you need to do is to think about something and you publish it. Nobody will ask you, oh, why did you do that? Nobody will even say, this one does not go in line with our standard. So when you have a media house like that, then whatever comes out of that media house, we tend to be unreliable to Wikipedia. Also, when your news media is making use of anonymous or unverified authors that you cannot go there and check their credibility, then you also need to know that it will make it unreliable, because we need to know who's writing what. So we need to know the authors, and we need to know who are they, so that we can go and check their credibility. So if there's no clear authorship or qualification of the writer, if content is based on opinions, rumors, or promotional interest rather than facts, or if you are into publishing gossip all the time, this one has abused this one, oh, this one replied, you follow everybody on Instagram, you carry the gossip of this one unfollow this one on Instagram, this one to unfollow it on Twitter. So these are gossips. So if your news media is into all of these, then it can be tagged on. So another feature of unreliable sources, when you are always publish content that is biased, sensational, clickbaited, or promotional. When you say bias, means you are always clearly supporting one aspect while you are demoting the other party. You are always supporting one party, demoting the other party. Then you always publish biased. You will not even put what the two parties have done to the table for the audience to be able to think and see which one is good, which one is bad. But you come from the angle of Mr. A always, then they can tag your media houses, they can tag your write-up as biased, or if you're always after what people, you're always after view by clickbaiting people. For instance, they will tell you that Tinubu walks without clothes, and people will be rushing to go and see, hey, Tinubu. When they click on it, they will discover that it is one Tinubu Johnson from one village that they saw and is walking without clothes. But because Tinubu is now the president, you are using that name to serve as clickbait for people, so that you are going to have more view, and your organization, they are going to award you for the views, but the credibility of the organization is going down. Or you just say, A is for A, see what he says next. Or, oh my God, see what Tinubu says. So all these are clickbaited titles to draw attention of people to click your write-up, so you can get the views that you wanted to get. But you are indirectly degrading the credibility of your media house. So in Nigeria, most of these sources either try to promote upcoming politicians, they are trying to promote entertainers or entrepreneurs. God knows how many non-notable Nigerian entrepreneurs have voted it on. Because these people will go and pay media houses, they will now be praising them as if they will be blowing trumpet, even when they're supposed to blow trumpet. They will even go as far as saying that this man is wearing shoes with his leg. We all know that shoes are supposed to be wear with leg. So why would you come out and say again that come and see the man that is wearing shoe with his leg? So are you expecting him to wear shoe with his head? So these are the kind of promotional content that makes sources unreliable. And also, why do you need particularly as a journalist and as a Wikipedian, you need to avoid unreliable sources. One, when you publish unreliable sources, they weaken the credibility of your news media, and they also weaken the credibility of Wikipedia. It's a two-way stuff. So if you are thinking because you wanted to publish on Wikipedia, that is why you are writing those articles so that people can know, you are also weakening the credibility of the news media too. They violate Wikipedia content policies. They violate the neutral point of view, and they violate the no original research. Because you begin to see that there are a lot of things that you are going to say about a particular subject that you will not be able to verify from another source. That means you have actually gone to go and meet the subject. Okay, tell me your name, then you write it down. So you are trying to make an original research from Wikipedia, which is not supposed to be. Using that sources and the consistent use of that sources can lead to the content being flagged. What you are trying to write on, if you keep on using that kind of sources, it will get flagged, it can get deleted, it can be tagged for promotional, and eventually, you as a Wikipedian can be blocked. So these are the things you need to know as a Wikipedian too and as a journalist. And we have also discussed what you need to know as a journalist on its own. So now we are going to move into questions. Do you have any questions? You need to ask questions because I know you are going to be writing a lot, and you need to put almost all these things into consideration. So questions, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muib, for the lecture. We have a question in the chat. Someone says, I'm Theresa Donatus from Wikimedia User Group Nigeria, Akwa Ibom Network. My question is, how long must the news source be published before it can be used as a reference to Wikipedia articles?
Oh my God. What am I hearing myself again?
What? I didn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to answer this question. But before I answer this question, I would like to employ all of us. If you want to edit, let us edit with good faith. Because a lot of people, there's no particular day, but there's a but there. So the but that I'm going to be bringing out is what is called source farming. Source farming. Source farming it simply means that I'm not notable now, right? And I know that, and I know a lot of journalists here. So I want you journalists to make me notable. So what we are going to be doing is that I want the article this month. So I will just pay like 6, 7, 8, 9 journalists, and they will publish all the stuff in just 1 month. Before you know it, they will take all those sources to Wikipedia to create article for me. Now, it raises, most of these things are just what reviewer look like, and I'm just trying to tell you, I'm not saying you should be using this against us, but I'm just saying that this is how it is being done. So now, they will carry these articles to Wikipedia, and they will go and create article for me. Now, by the time they are reviewing it, the reviewer will now say, okay, why is it that in a particular month, all the sources that they use for you in a particular month is just in February? That means something is wrong. And when they check, you have not done anything to make you trend. No, at times when you do something that makes you trend for that particular month, you generate a lot of articles from different news media. You have not done anything that make you trend. Even most of the things that they were saying are the things that you have done in the last 15, 25 years. And no media house was able to pick that up until today, until this month. Another thing is, you see, on the 16th, an article was published. On the 17th, it was published. On the 18th, it was published. On the 19th, it was published. On the 20th, it was published. 21st, it was published. And they will carry all the articles. So they will say, definitely, this person is trying to push this article on Wikipedia. Not that this person is naturally notable. So they were just trying to make him look like a notable person. But when you have, so that's a kind of direct answer to that. But when you have someone that has been doing something before, and he has been having one or two publications. In 2020, he has one. In 2023, he has one. But in 2025, he did one thing that now made him to trend. And a lot of media houses now started to publish a lot of news about him. So by the time we review it, we will not raise any flag because we have seen what he has been doing before. Though it has not been massive like this, but media houses have been publishing about him before. For instance, now, if an upcoming artist wants to make himself notable, what they used to do is they will give PR people money, and they will, in a particular month, they bombard them with like 50 or 10 to 15 articles. Every week, every day, they are having different articles. So those articles are just source farming. When you take them to Wikipedia, there will be a red flag for it, and the person will have to come and defend it. So that's that. There's no particular date or no particular, even if an article is published today and you want to use the article to update any record on Wikipedia, you can use it. But I think I've explained the technicality of the date, in which some people will go and look at when was the article published. Oh, all these articles that make this person notable were published in just 1 month. It's not possible. This is a source farming. Do you get it now? The person that asked the question, is this still around?
Yes, thank you, ma. Thank you. Well understood.
It is, sir. I'm a man. Sorry. So there's a matter of I'm a man, okay? So
Thank you, sir.
I said I understand
okay.
now. Thank you.
Okay. So we do not have any specific date, but the technicality is there. So as a journalist now, so you can publish any article anytime you want, in as much you are publishing with good faith. Okay? So we want the article should come from good faith. When you see someone that is notable, we publish for the person, and you move on to the next one. So it's not your job to say, okay, I want to make this person notable. Then you are the only one that will now write all the article that the person used to make. In just 1 month, it will be flagged, and it will also affect your own reputation too. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that explanation.
Another question: the idea of a published article staying 6 months before use isn't. There's no idea about the article staying 6 months. I can show you some of the articles that I've written that the sources. Okay, let me tell you, if someone becomes a president today and there are news publication day before, somebody became a president day before yesterday, and the people publish article today, are you going to say I should wait for 6 months before I use that article to say that the person has become a president? No. But the idea of a published article staying for 6 months is what I've told you earlier on. When people are trying to make someone notable, maybe they have collected money or they have personal interest. So that's why they used to use that logic and say, okay, let us publish the first one. We wait for 6 months so that they will not suspect us. We publish the second one. Okay, we wait for 6 months so that they will not suspect us. Do you get it now? So if somebody is notable, you publish your as a journalist, you publish your article and you move on to the next one. So if after 2 days or after 6 months or after 1 year, another person wanted to publish about the person, let them do it. Do you get it now? Okay, let me show you something.
Chat.
Yeah, let me just look
Okay.
at this article. This woman became a professor, a VC, I think early this year or this year or so, I don't know. So look at when this article was published, September 23. You see? Okay. This one too was published September 23. You see? The same day. Okay. Okay. So the third one too was published by Charles September 22. Did I wait for 6 months? The answer is no. Why? Because the person is already notable as a vice chancellor. So I don't have to wait. It is those people that they are not notable and they are trying to make themselves notable. So that's why they used to say, okay, when they publish one today, let us wait. And it is a mentality of conflict of interest. Do you get it? So as a journalist, you need to also always declare, as a journalist and a Wikipedian, you need to always declare a conflict of interest. Okay, the question that is in the sportsmen and sportswomen do have special criteria for being on Wikipedia. Will it be true that the notability guidelines in Nigeria are more strict than other countries? I ask because of the stuff I get to see about other sportsmen in other. Okay, there's no strict. No, the notability for Nigeria is also the notability for other countries. But the level of our journalism in Nigeria is very poor to the extent that people outside, people in the Western world, I'm not talking about Africa now, I'm talking about people in advanced countries, they tend to look down on us when it comes to journalism. Now, for sports people, the notability is very clear. If you have competed in a professional level, which is either FIFA World Cup, Premier League, and all those leagues, so you are notable. Even the highest league in every country is also notable. So the people playing in the Nigerian Professional Football League, they are notable. But our journalists, they do not cover them. That is why you see that they're not on Wikipedia. So if you can have people that cover them, that cover their biographies from a neutral point of view, that cover them weekly, monthly. So you can get all of them on the English Wikipedia, just like we have almost all the players in Premier League, all the players in Italian League on Wikipedia. So because of their news media, they publish news about them. Their transfer is being published, their goals are being published, their assists are being published, personal life are being published, all those stuffs are being published. Today, if Lamine Yamal changes a car, Spanish media will say he has gotten the car. But how many sportsmen in Nigeria will do a lot of things? Imagine somebody got the highest goal for a particular league. Only one or two news media carried it. The rest are blog and social media. The highest goal scorer for Nigeria. There was a time when this guy was doing something fantastic. Let me check. So I had to suffer myself to cover him and write an article for him. I'm not, there's one goalkeeper like that. One Nigerian goalkeeper like that is playing for Doma United. He has like 9 or 19 clean sheets. So if our journalists document them, then we can have them on English Wikipedia, but they are not being documented. So there's no any special category. It all goes back to online visibility, getting information from credible, reliable, and independent sources. Okay? So that is. Another question? Another question, please.
I think I have one. Someone asked
Okay.
me, someone asked me some time ago that all of these topic lists we're collating, right? If one
Yeah.
or two of them are not trending at the moment, maybe they are not achieving something, but they're notable. But at the moment, we want to write something about them. Maybe they are stub articles and want to, beef up their references. Is it possible? What can we do to uh, publish something about them when they have not done something significant at the moment? Can we like spotlight their birthdays or any anniversary or something just to create that content for them?
The question is, what makes them notable in the first place? Is it trending that make them notable, or they have done something unique in the past that make them notable? So what they have, for instance, now, if someone, I created an article for a minister that left office in 2005, 2005. That's 20 years ago. Now, do you know why I was like? So notability is not something that changes. It's not something that is temporal. It's not ephemeral. So it is there. Once you have it, you have it. It's there permanently on you. So what they have done in the past that is unique, it is what is going to be spotlighted, expanded, and they are good to go. So it's not trending. Notability is not trending. Maybe, this is hot cake. No. Either you are hot cake or you are a cold cake. If you are notable, you are notable. Do you get it now?
Okay, let me just clarify something. Let's say someone won an award in like 2 years ago, but maybe the person just had a media mention of 2 to 3 references, and then I realized that the article they have on Wikipedia is a stub, and maybe I just need to help to expand that article. But then they're not winning awards now. No, can I still write about the awards they won 2 years ago?
Now, a stop does not mean stop article is not something that is bad. What stop means is that this person is notable, but do not have enough information online for it to be a full-fledged article. So instead of deleting it, let us stop it. So at least people will see it. So you cannot force that information to come. So you just have to wait for the right moment for another thing to come up. You get the logic now. Now, some people, just like your fingers, 5 fingers you have, they're not equal. Some other people will remain on stop. Some will go to start article. Some will go to, that is the reason why not all article can be taken to good article status. But because we do not have the same information again. Now, if that person is someone that continues to break ground and a lot of sources are coming in, that is where you cannot say, let us expand it. You need to get it right. You will not deliberately, out of nowhere, say that, let us expand this. So do you get it? It is the situation that will warrant you to do that. One of the reason why this program is going to be very good is that all those people that they have done something in the past, that they are unique and they are not on Wikipedia, and it is because their stories have been written in a way that they can never be there. So it is where you can go there and write those stories from reliable sources. Then you can use those sources to put them on Wikipedia. But if they do not do anything to make them to become start article, you cannot blow it for start. So even if the sources if the info that you have is to make them stop from no article to stop, it is still something that is good. So, but now you can even any article that is stopped and for a while, you can also go and check again what are the things that they have done elsewhere. So if you see something that is worthy of writing on, then you can write. So if you not see anything worthy of writing on, then you just have to leave it because you cannot create things. Do you get it now? So just do your assignment, see if they have done other things that are worthy of writing on. If it is none, okay. Just like what I did for this woman, this particular woman, the information was very small. So I So if info was very small, so I just have to write it the way I see it. You can see the info and just three sources. So if tomorrow now, maybe she attended another conference, she has a lot of publications, I cannot come back and say, okay, let me increase it. Okay? Now, I think there's another question in the chat box. Please let me to check.
Yes. Can you see it, or should I read it?
Can you read it for me?
It says, apart from biographies, what other article is okay for beginners to write or improve?
We write article about universities, about schools, about places. When I start to edit Wikipedia, I didn't start writing biography. That was one of the things that gingered me. I didn't start to write biography. I started to write about, you see, I started with Gombe State Polytechnic, Federal Polytechnic Kakungo, Federal University of Kashere. Then I have one biography, more party. Gombe State University, Tangale people. Then I have the king. This one is the king. Bolewa people, General Hospital Katungo, Tomb of Mahmoud Atawu 1, Gombe Abba, Bimahi, Kilangil, Tangale people, Tera people, Waja people. You see, all these are not biography. Tafa Balewa, Mubayero, Dagona Best Sanctuary, Lamude Hot Spring, Boatier people. So I started my first like 30 or 35 articles were not biography. Because biography is something that is very complicated. You may be trying to write it, and some people will be thinking maybe you are trying to push your agenda. But when you write about places, tribes, people, you get it now. So you can use that one to build that confidence, to get used to Wikipedia, and you are good to go. So apart from biographies, you can venture into writing articles about places. You can venture into writing articles about universities, colleges of education, polytechnic. You can venture into writing about standard hospitals, like general hospitals, good ones that have sources. So what you are going to be facing in this is that you are going to be having limited sources to write about them. But when you start, you won't face much problem like writing a biography. Okay? So I think I've answered that. So any other question? So
Okay, ma'am. Please, female chairman, local government chairman, are they notable?
not only female this time around. So local government, there's a kind of controversy on it. Normally, they are supposed to be notable, just like other politicians too are notable. But for local government chairman, you need to prove beyond reasonable doubt that they are notable by making use of the general notability guideline. That is, we are going to be having different reliable sources. Do you get it now? That's published significantly about them, about their position. Do you get it? So you cannot use them under politician. Though they're supposed to be notable normally, but there are a lot of issues on local government, especially when it comes to African countries. When you see even mayors in United States and the rest. So if they do not have that significant sources, they are not considered to be notable. So just like local government chairman too. When you look at local government chairman in Nigeria here, they rarely discuss about them. It's just as if they are not existing. People rarely talk about them. So let us say the reality. People rarely talk about local government chairman. They just consider them as if they are nothing. And these are the people that are governing like over 300,000 people, 400,000 people. But in critical decision making, you will not see them there. So the only way they can be notable is if you can provide significant, reliable sources that can show that they are presumably notable. Then you are good to go. Unlike other politicians, in which if you see someone like this becomes a governor, instantly the person is notable because of the governorship. Someone becomes a minister, instantly they become notable. But for local government chairman, you have to prove sources about their election, sources about their biography, sources about everything. You have to combine everything together to make them notable.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you. Someone commented that they have truly gotten value from this training. So
Thank you
thank you
very
very
much.
much. And maybe we should have another session to clarify to identify notable people for our journalists. So when they're writing, they'll be able to know who to write about and who to spotlight, what makes people notable. So I think we should have a separate session for that. Are you through with your presentation, sir? So we can...
Yes, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope at this juncture, we've been able to get familiar with the Wikipedia content policies. I hope we now understand the editing guidelines on Wikipedia, and we're also conversant with writing for Wikipedia now. So it's time to go to our work tables, workstations, and start publishing articles about African women who need them. We have a topic list that we are going to be working with, and you can find that on the second subsection of the WikiMissingSources project's meta page. Because of time, I would not go there now, but we can visit the meta page and then go to the topic list to find names of people we can work with. We have people who need coverage. We also have people who already have coverage but needs articles on Wikipedia. So we can start working on them. Please let's start contributing and give voices to those who need them, the African women on Wikipedia. So at the end of the day, it's the same way we're writing, but we should, put the content policies into perspective while writing our publications. And we should also write without the use of whistle words or promotional words and all of that he explained during the training session. And we should also be aware of source farming. I know we will not be doing that. So at this point, I think we've answered all the questions there are. Without wasting much of our time, it's time to call it a day. Thank you very much to everyone who joined this session.